This house was built in 1928, the end of 1928. I have a picture of it, dated January 29, and it's obviously been just finished because the lath fence around it is brand new. There was an 8-foot lath fence erected from the house around the property for wind protection for the avocados that were coming up, I suppose. At any rate, built in 1928, and by a fellow named Lars Victor Hult, a Chicago man who retired from a lighting fixtures firm that he owned.
Beautiful lighting. Are these the original lights?
Those are ones he brought with him or otherwise saw to. And he was a tall Swede. I never met him, but because he was in a rest home when we came. I did talk to him once about the place when we were considering buying it. But he and his brother Axel, I think, I don't know where Axel was. But Lars Victor he was tall, and he had a tall wife named Elsa, wasn't it? Elsa. And she was very tall. And she had the counters built to suit herself. And so when we came here, why, the counters were up to your chin, almost. And when we remodeled shortly after that, why, we lowered the counters.
That follows. Well, I'll tell you because he's not going to say. The thing that I think that has proven through the years was the fact that we passed that petition to keep the apartments from across the street.
So I'm saying the same thing.
Because everyone from Via de la Valle to Loma Santa Fe, Skyline at the time, decided, we wrote it in such a manner that if you rezone that area, that's 6 acres, this side of whatever that street is, Nardo, everyone down here, we want the same privilege to rezone.
At that time, there were no big houses. I mean, there were empty lots all the way from here up to Skyline. And we could just see apartments marching right up the and so we tried and succeeded in getting the Board of Supervisors to deny the request for apartments over there.
And that was really hard to do when the county was in charge because
the county, the county was so far away. Actually, a lot of people in the community liked it that way. They liked the county far away. So this is our business, we'll take care of it. So what if a bar would come in? Good for business.
Yeah,
that resulted. We had a string of supervisors, or several of them, who were just flat out had conflicts of interest that you would not believe, and some of them were corrupt. The apartments that are over there now on the bluff were built. They were actually, they were built over protest. But there was when they were framed at one time, there was an arson fire over there.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember
My dad was standing there, and she wanted to go over to it. And I said, "I don't think you better do it." But that was never discovered who did it. But it was tensions ran pretty hot about that.
The Erdies over here thought it was our house that was burning from their house. They knew it was over here somewhere. So that was one thing.
And that prompted cityhood.
Yes, all the big developers coming in. Thank heavens.
But when we went down to the county for the hearing, there were a lot of people showed up for it, naturally. And Mr. Coughlin, they gave him an hour to talk about it. Oh my God, Richard, it sounds so good. How can they deny him his apartments? But then it was our turn, and I guess you got up to speak.
I got up and delivered a speech. And I said, "Look, we're not asking him not to develop his property, but the apartments are the wrong thing." And I sat down, and it only took the supervisors 10 minutes. They turned it down, Bang.
Really?
I mean, after all, they were tired.
when I first moved here, all the ladies on Nardo gave me a coffee to welcome me.
Coffee clutch?
I was impressed with them.
Yeah.
Because Mrs. Coughlin was quite active. She, I'm sure, promoted that.
That's nice.
Well, I think when you first came here, we were at the store.
Oh, yeah.
And got to the cashier, and she didn't have enough money to pay for what she bought.
Didn't have my checkbook.
The lady behind her says, "Oh, I'll cover it." And,
She was in the person next door.
That was
Hulda.
Hulda Velkin, who came here and lived on Nardo for a while. The Velkins had immigrated here from Norway, and with them there'd been another family with whom we took her close, called the Yerdis.
I know the Yerdis.
Torborn and Kristen Kari Yerdis, and our children got to know each other well.
It really was. It was a good neighborhood. And nothing, Park Del Mar, the kids would go across the street on that edge over there and fly their kites. And the wind would take them all up. And then I still remember Renee, the youngest Coughlin. She'd say, "Well, let it go now, kids." And Beth had let her kite go. Well, she never saw that one again.
Yeah.
I was born in Welda, Kansas, which is on the eastern side, and about 60 miles from the University of Kansas. And my siblings went south to a Pittsburgh college, teacher's college. And my dad said, for me, when it came for me, he says, "You have to come and go to the university because I don't want to have to go all the way down to Pittsburgh to get the bus and everything." So that's how I got to KU. And I met Richard there.
Wow.
And I had a friend who introduced us. And that was her mistake.
Indeed.
So that's interesting. So how did you end up at KU?
Well, first born in Pratt, Kansas, actually on a wheat farm out southwest of Pratt. My folks homesteaded the land out there under the Homestead Act, and my grandfather came out in 1855, homesteaded with the aid of his sons, one of whom was my father, and we had Clarence and my father and Uncle Lauren were the three men with three boys in the family. And Earl, my father, took over the farm after the other two siblings got older or dropped out. And from there, I always thought I'd go to KU. It was an institution for the state. I looked at other schools, but I didn't think I could afford them, and I didn't think I was smart enough at the time. So, like MIT and Caltech, I was sort of sticking out with it. University of Kansas turned out to be a good choice, and for me, met Frances there. As she says, I dated several people and met her through one of her friends.
Or your friends.
One of her former friends. And started at KU. I got my bachelor's, BS degree in engineering physics in 1951, and was out several times. Actually, I returned to KU twice. Once for my MS degree, and then another time for a doctorate in physics.
Okay.
So that's how I got to KU, and that's basically how we met. We met at KU.